So Dee, welcome to SoccerX. Not your first time, obviously, you've been to a few. How does this compare with previous ones?
SoccerX is always a date on the calendar. It's super important for us. We always say that it's really important to have this moment where we can reconnect with everyone in the industry. Everyone is here, whether they're talking or they're just coming to listen to panels, everyone is here. So a lot of work gets done, a lot of reconnecting. It's really important, and it just keeps getting bigger every year, which is nice to see.
And of course, you're representing Bayern Munich in the United States. You've been here 10 years, you're telling me. That's extraordinary. So clearly one of the first clubs to recognise the growing interest from a North American audience.
Absolutely. So Bayern opened the office in 2014, and I think at the time we were the first club to kind of set up an office of this sort. And I think a lot of questions were, why is a German soccer team opening up an office in the States? But the potential is huge. You know, even back then we knew that there were almost 100 million people that were interested in the sport of soccer. That's more than the population of Germany. Why wouldn't we have a go? Why wouldn't we have a go? So that's kind of been our kind of guiding light all the way through, that the potential is just so great.
And obviously a lot have followed then, other clubs, federations.
Yeah.
They're all looking for that US audience. But how does Bayern Munich's interest stack up? You, having been here, one of the first, as you say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, success definitely helps. We have been very successful over the years, so that absolutely helps. But it's everything around the actual game, the product, as it were, that's really important as well. It's kind of like how we fit into lifestyle, you know, how are people wearing our jerseys with jeans when they don't really even know the team just yet. You know, how are they connecting with us, with our players? How are they connecting with our brand values? You know, Bayern Munich is quite unique in Europe in the sense that we have been profitable for the last 30 years. You know, so the way we run our business is very responsible. Fiscal responsibility is at the top of everything we do. So I think people are really interested in everything around our business as well as on field.
And obviously, having been here 10 years, you've seen the growth in interest, and it really seems to have just gone up and up and up exponentially. And obviously, Lionel Messi coming here in Miami last year was a big driver, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's huge. It's just getting bigger and bigger. You see it, you know, I've seen it over the years, but also currently this is the epicenter for global football at the moment. You know, we've got the Club World Cup next year. We've got the World Cup the year after, which is going to break every single record. So it's going to be a really interesting time, and it'll be great to see the growth of soccer in 2027. And for us as a club, our aim is to be one of the most recognizable soccer brands in 2027.
And of course, with sort of modern methods of communication, social media, interaction with fans, it must make it so much more satisfying and engaging to reach that audience that you want to educate about your team and get them to follow your team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we always say we have our network of fans here in North America, and they're fantastic. They're our biggest brand ambassadors, and that's grown over the years. We started with 8 official fan clubs, and we now have 150. Wow. So it's incredible. So they're really kind of our bread and butter, but you know, where we really, really kind of are focusing on as well is how do we reach new eyeballs? How do we get in front of new fans? How do we take them through our fan funnel? And that's where our relationship with the Brooklyn Nets, with the Kansas City Chiefs, with LAFC comes into play, because that crossover allows us to reach a much wider audience and then kind of take them through into the Bayern world.
Okay. And the Bayern world at the moment, I mean, the Champions League is obviously very much a Bayern Munich trophy. It's been in the blood and in the thing. Yeah. But also the Bundesliga, I mean, that was a real shock last year, wasn't it? Not winning it, especially with Harry Kane ripping up the record books.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think Bayern has always proved when there's been a bad year, we always seem to come back stronger the next year. So hopefully the season will be a great one for us. But but that's the thing about building the brand, and, you know, success with teams comes and goes. It's about the brand and kind of what we stand for and who we are, and that's kind of where we're really trying to push the growth.
And is that a challenge in a sort of new market where fans might really be a bit capricious and go from one winning team to another? Is the retention important as well?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, in the US in particular, there's a real star culture. You know, people will follow players rather than following a team. And in Europe, it's very different. Like, once you have your team, that's it. You stick with them. I think the only US sport that is the same is college football. It's tribal. It's passed down through generations. But that's it. So, you know, we have to be really mindful about how we're talking about the club and, you know, what points we're pushing forward. And that's where everything else comes into play in terms of how we run our business, kind of hitting that kind of B2B audience. But also to other people, you know, we find that a lot of people want to align with brands whose kind of values match their own. So people who kind of want the dignity, respect, the way we carry ourselves, so they want to align with that. So we're seeing a lot of interest in that space too.
And of course, success on the field, as you say, it all helps that engagement.
Yeah.
Good year ahead for Bayern Munich, do you believe?
Yes.
Emphatically.
Yeah, exactly. No, it will be a great year.
Fantastic, Dee. Great speaking to you, and enjoy the rest of Soccer X.